Hello, I'm Tom Feldman. Welcome to this lesson on the guitar of Robert Johnson. Here we are at DVD 2, where we're going to be working through the songs out of an open tuning. Now, Robert Johnson recorded 29 titles from 1936 into 1937. 15 were done out of standard tuning, which was the focus of DVD 1, and 14 were done out of an open tuning. And most of those songs, 12 out of the 14, in fact, were done with a slide. The two songs that were not done with a slide are I Believe I'll Dust My Broom, which is out of Vastipole tuning, and Hellhound on My Trail, which is out of cross note tuning. We closed DVD 1 with Hellhound on My Trail, so I Believe I'll Dust My Broom will be here on DVD 2, along with the slide guitar songs that we're working through. Robert recorded predominantly out of Spanish tuning, and so we're going to start off there and then end off in Vastipole tuning with the few songs that he did out of that tuning. So we're going to be actually tuning up to open A for Spanish tuning, and if you are used to tuning down to open G and tuning up to open A is not something that you're too interested in doing, you can just tune down to open G, put a capo on the 2nd fret, and follow along through the lesson just fine. But the reason that I went with open A tuning is because that is close to where Robert Johnson's recorded works are, the original recordings. A lot of the Spanish tuning songs are done out of A sharp and B. So I believe that he did tune to open A and then most likely capoed from there, or maybe tuned higher. I'm not too sure. But I wanted to be in open A so you'd be close enough to work along with the original recordings, which typically in a lesson like this we do include the original recordings by the artists that we're covering, but due to licensing fees we're not able to do that with Robert Johnson's music. So you will need to have some sort of collection, CD release, album download that has all of the songs that we're going to be working through. And it's very, very important that you be playing along with the original recordings after you've worked through the lesson. This lesson isn't meant to sidestep the recordings. It's meant to equip you with the tools needed to play along with the original recordings. Because I'm not Robert Johnson. I can't play exactly like Robert Johnson. So after you've learned a song or worked through the lesson, then go to the original recordings and play along with those recordings. And being in open A tuning is going to get you there at an easier way than if you were down to open G. Then you're really going to have to capo quite high in the neck, and it's going to make things really difficult when you're now at the 15th fret for your 12th fret if you're capoed up to where he would be. So the other thing I'm going to mention before we get into tune is that I'm going to be using a thumb pick pretty much throughout this lesson. I might use finger picks on a song or two, but for the most part I'm going to be using bare fingers. But that's just my preference. There's really nothing about Robert Johnson's music that requires, finger picks or not finger picks, so please feel free to do whatever is most comfortable for you, and you will go along just fine. There is nothing that I'm doing with bare fingers that can't be done with finger picks. So again, just do what's comfortable for you. There's tablature included along with the lesson, and it is a PDF file on the disc for those of you who have the DVD copy, and for those of you who have the downloaded version, you can see in the main menu area the way to access that PDF file of the tablature. So let's get into tune, and we'll get underway with the first grouping of songs out of Spanish tuning. Now, what we're going to be doing for open A is E, A, C sharp, E. So here is your low E, your A, your E, now which was D, now coming up to E. Our 3rd string G is going to come up to A. Our B is now up to C sharp. And finally our E is E. If you're feeling like there's too much string tension, you can go to a lighter gauge string set. If you're using light gauge strings, you should be good to go, but you could also go to a custom light or even an extra light gauge string set, and you should be able to work through the lesson just fine. I want to mention, before we get into the songs, that if you're just starting out playing slide, you're very new to it, you don't really have too much under your belt for slide playing, this probably isn't the lesson that you want to begin with, because I'm not going to be spending time talking about the foundational elements of how to play slide. I'm just going to move through the songs, presuming that you already know how to do that. If you're looking for a lesson of those fundamental elements for slide guitar playing, I did do a lesson called Bottleneck Slide Guitar for Beginners. If you work through that lesson, you'll be able to then come to this lesson and work through it just fine. If you can keep a steady bass and play slide at the same time, then the vast majority of these songs are accessible to you. Of course, there's more complex arrangements as we get further into the lesson, but we're going to start off with Stop Breaking Down Blues, which is a great first song for us to get into. So here is Stop Breaking Down. Stop breaking down. Stop breaking down. With the stuff I gotta push brains up in, you lose your mind. Yeah, I can't walk the street, constantly my mind without someone. Stop breaking down. Stop breaking down. Stop breaking down. With the stuff I gotta push your brains up in, make you lose your mind. When I was selling out women up to a waving clown, ain't doing nothing but tearing your man's reputation down. Stop breaking down. Stop breaking down. With the stuff I gotta push your brains up, baby, make you lose your mind. Stop breaking down. Stop breaking down. With the stuff I gotta push your brains up, baby, make you lose your mind. All right, that was Stop Breaking Down Blues, and slide only comes into play at the very end of the song. And Robert Johnson did have very versatile songs with some slide is throughout, like Come On In My Kitchen is a good example of that. Some songs are slide intermingled with chords, like Terraplane Blues and Crossroad Blues. And some of the songs have very, very little slide to them, and this is a prime example of that. It's almost an open tuning version of I'm a Steady Rolling Man. It's kind of the same type of feel, and which I'm a Steady Rolling Man was out of A position in standard tuning. But a good place to start for us dealing with this intro, which we're going to see pretty much throughout the course of this lesson. And it's going to be starting at the 3rd fret with strings 6 and 4 on the 3rd fret and the open 3rd string. So we're going to go. So start off with that 6th string open. And now we're to our 5th fret with that 1st string. And that's when the bass starts in. So with the bass, with our thumb, we are going to be just keeping the beat with that 5th string, almost like we were playing out of A position in standard tuning. And we're going to do this. And the song really centers around that. So with our 5th string, we're going from 3 to 4, excuse me, and to our 5th fret 1st string. Another thing thing about the bass is when I'm hitting that 5th string, I'm also making contact with that 4th string as well. I'm not really pushing down through that 4th string, but I'm definitely sort of landing on that. So it's important to be muting with the palm of your hand on that string by just lightly placing your hand on the strings to dampen them. And so he's going to sing over that. Every time I'm walking down the street, some pretty woman starts breaking down with me. Stop breaking down. Now we're up to our 5th fret, just a 1-4-5 chord progression. And when we're up to our 5th fret, we're going to be barring strings 4 through 1. And then we're going to add this 8th fret of the 1st string. So it's kind of a long A chord shape that we're doing. Now, if you're using your slide on your ring finger, then obviously you can use your pinky for that stretch. I like my slide on my pinky, so I have to use my ring finger to make that stretch. Now, it's interesting, at least for me, that Son House, he would make that stretch with his middle finger. So his first finger would bar, his middle finger would stretch. And he would do that with very little effort. And so looking at the length of Robert Johnson's fingers, he might have gone about it that way too, given just the massive fingers that those guys have, or had. I don't, so I use my ring finger. And it just goes back. 7th fret is the same deal as the 5th fret. Back to the 5th, and back home. And this starts over. There, on the 3rd verse, he's going to go, instead of just going back up to that 5th fret, he's going to go to his 3rd fret, and then he has this interesting little guitar break, because it goes. And it's just 5-4-5. And when he's got that open bass, that's when he's going to mix it up a little bit. Rather than just staying steady on the beat, he'll add a little bit to it. So he'll go. So that's a little different for the bass there. Well, then it just goes right back into the song. And the way that he's going to end the song is by doing just like the intro, but he's going to carry it all the way down to the 1st fret. So it's going to be 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret to open, and then slide from 2 to 4 and open on that 4th string. So the slide is happening on the 5th string, and you can use your slide if you want. I like to use my finger. It sounds more accurate to maybe what he was doing, but I can't say for 100% sure. So you can either use your slide to do that slide, or use your finger to do that slide. 5th fret, 1st string with that slide, and then we're going to go from that 5th fret, slide up with strings 2 and 3 up to the 12th fret. And that is Stop Breaking Down Blues. Let's go to the split screen and go through together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Every time I'm walking down the street, some pretty mama starts breaking down with me. Stop breaking down. Stop breaking down. I can't walk the street, constantly my mind without someone. Stop breaking down, stop breaking down, stop breaking down. Yeah, the stuff I gotta push your brains out, baby, make you lose your mind. Saturday night, we're more love to aping clown. Ain't doing nothing but tearing a good man reputation down. Stop breaking down, stop breaking down. Well, the stuff I gotta push your brains out, make you lose your mind. Breaking down, with the stuff I gotta push your brains out, baby, make you lose your mind. Well, now I can't stop walking down the street. So pretty mama, stop breaking down with me. Stop breaking down. Well, I got up this morning, feeling around for my shoes. Nobody got them on. Oh, walking blue. Well, I got up this morning, feeling around for my shoes. Nobody got them all walking blues. Yeah, I'm getting up in the morning, leave my whole lonesome home. Got up this morning, my buddies was gone. Getting up in the morning, leave my lonesome home. Got up this morning, my buddies is gone. And I'm getting up, gonna ride the blind, been mistreated now, don't mind time. Well, in the morning, and I'm gonna ride the blind, been mistreated, and I don't mind dying. Well, now some people tell me that worry blues ain't bad. Worst of feeling I'm most ever had. I said, some people tell me worry blues ain't bad. This old feeling I'm most ever had. She got Elgin movement from her head to her toes, breaking the dollar most. Where she go when Elgin movements from her head down to her toes. Well, breaking a dollar anywhere she goes. All right, that was Walkin' Blues, which is a song that really takes a lot from Son House's My Black Mama. So check out that tune if you've never heard Son House's My Black Mama before. Certainly listen to that tune. We are using the slide a great deal more than we did with the first song, or the last song we just did, which was Stop Breaking Down Blues, where the slide only came in at the end of the song. Now we're moving into using the slide quite a bit more. And the intro of the song is going to happen up at the 12th fret on strings 1 and 2. And the 3rd string. So we got strings 1 and 2 at the 12th fret happening at the same time. And that 3rd string as well. And with my right hand, what I'm doing for that is basically just using my thumb pick to do all the work. You could do a down, up, up. Either way works just fine. So that's the slide part. And then we've got our walk down, which is going to be 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret open, and that's strings 6 and 4 that we're fretting, and then the 3rd string is open. And then we're sliding up on that 5th string from frets 2 to 4. 3rd string gets hit twice, 6th string once. And we go into this motion here, which is really the foundation of the song. And what that is sliding from 3rd to the 4th fret on that 5th string. You could slide back further. You could do the 2nd to the 4th if you wanted to, but really you can just slide from 3 to 4, and then 5th and 4th strings open. So with our right hand, what that is going to look like for the thumb is hitting that 5th and 4th string together, and like we've been doing pretty much throughout the entire lesson with DVD 1 and into this lesson and continuing throughout the lesson, is muting the strings with the palm of our hand, slightly dampening those strings, and we're hitting 5th and 4th together. And that's what he's going to sing over for the first verse. Got up this morning, feeling down for my shoes. You can see with my left hand that I'm also adding to the deadening of that string by putting my hand down on top of the string to cut it out so it's not ringing through. And if you listen to the recording, you can really hear that he is deadening those strings after the slide up, and after he hits the open strings, he's coming down pretty hard to stop the strings. So I'm doing both with my palm and with my left hand. Well, got up this morning, feeling down for my shoes. Know by that I got them on. Oh, walking blues. And the last line of that verse is going to add the 5th fret of the 1st string. And he's not playing it very loudly. It's actually very faint. And the remainder of the verses, he does do that like this. Instead of just doing that open 5th and 4th, instead of just doing that, he's going to add his 1st string at the 5th fret. But again, it's very faint. It's not overpowering the bass. So that's what he's going to do for the first line of the verse. Then he's going to go to the 5th fret on that 5th string and do this. So he's sliding twice and then doing this open strum. And the open strum really isn't for any sort of note. It's just a pretty hard strike just for a rhythm. And then back into it. And he's going to add that element. And that element is adding that 6th string on the 3rd fret, 3rd string open, 5th string open. So with this 6th string, you can use your finger, which I'm doing, because I'm adding a little bit of a pull-off to it. You could use your slide if you wanted to as well, so you'd go. I like using my finger just to get that added pull-off. And he's going to do that in between all the verses. So that 2nd line of the verse was at the 5th fret. Feeling down for my shoes. Well, nobody that I had, them old walking blues. So that's 5th fret to the 7th fret on that 5th string, back to the 5th, and back into your foundation right here. Second verse pretty much follows suit to that. The 3rd verse, he changes things a little bit when he goes up to the 5th fret. Instead of going to the single string, he's going to bar, and he's going to do this. So we're going to go up to the 5th fret, barring 4, 3, 2, and 1, and stretching up to the 8th fret like we did with Stop Breaking Down Blues, but also go 8, 7, 5, 8, and do a pull-off, or hammer-on and a pull-off to that 5th fret as well. Like that. Back into the rhythm. He's going to do the same thing at the 7th fret, 5th fret, back into the rhythm. And then he's got the 4th verse, which changes a little bit also, where it's the, some people tell me walking blues ain't bad, but worst old feeling I'm most ever had. Well, some people tell me worried blues ain't bad. So there, we're going to that 5th fret, 5th string again, but now we're bending it up, and with my thumb, what I'm doing is giving it a little bit of a snap. And the way that I do that is just let the string slip from the blade of the thumb pick. I just let it slip off. And it does that strum, or that stroke. And then back into it. And then it finishes off. The last verse is similar to that 3rd verse where he's going to be barring. So I'll just carry it out to the end. And that's the ending of the song. So it's up at the 12th fret, kind of like the intro. So that's strings 2 and 1 at the 12th, to the 3rd string on that 12th. Then we're going to go from 3 to 4 on that 3rd string. Or sorry, 12 to 4 on that 3rd string. 3rd fret on that 2nd string, which is really unusual, and then slide up to that 5th fret on that 1st string. And that is Walkin' Blues. So let's go to the split screen and go through it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Got up this morning, feeling down for my shoes. Nobody that I got them on. Walking blues. Got up this morning, feeling down for my shoes. Bernice was gone. Well, get in the morning. Well, I'm gonna leave my lonesome home. Got up this morning. My Bernice was gone. I'm gonna get up this morning, I'm gonna ride the blind, been mistreated, but I don't mind dying. Some people tell me that worry blues ain't bad. We're still feeling my most ever had. Well, some people tell me worry blues ain't bad. We're so feeling I'm almost never had. Last verse, she got edging movements from her head to her toes, breaking $1 anywhere she goes. All right, that was Come On In My Kitchen, and a really, really fun song to play. And one of the slide songs that Robert Johnson uses pretty much slide throughout. There's a few instances where he doesn't, but mostly slide throughout. And a lot of it is really just revolving around playing what you're singing. So starting off with the intro, it's going to start off up at the 12th fret on that first string, and we're going to go. So he does it from, it doesn't really matter too much where you slide up from. You could do from the 11th fret, you could do it from the 10th fret, but the point is you can do it 3 times, and the bass is going to come in on the 3rd one. And that's, so first string, sliding down, catching that 2nd string at about the 10th, maybe 10 and a half, sliding back up to the 3rd string at the 12th fret. And that bass is going to be steady on that 5th string. And that is the bass walk down, which it's a little bit tricky and a little bit unusual because he starts off hitting that 5th string on the 3rd fret, so it goes, and then into this double string deal. So you're going to start at the 5th string, 3rd fret, and hop right into strings 6 and 5, and walk down. And again, that 3rd string is open when you're doing that, so your right hand will look like this when that is going on. So I'm using my thumb for the 6th, first finger for the 4th, my middle finger for the 3rd. And then we're going to slide all the way up to the 7th fret with that 5th string. And hit that open E as well. And then now we're just going to go back up to the 12th fret and basically play what we're going to sing. So he's going to use strings 1, 2, and 3, and there's really not a whole lot to really kind of go into detail about that because, again, you're just sliding up to that 12th fret with strings 1, 2, and 3, and you're just going to play what you're saying. So, woman got trouble. Just follow the. Here's where it's going to change. We're going to go to our 1st fret with that 2nd string, and the 1st string is open, and you're going to hit them both at the same time, and then back up to the 12th. So when you got a verse like, she took the last nickel out my ration, sang, better come on, and then slide back up to the 12th fret on strings 1 and 2. So it's like, come on, down in my kitchen. So that's strings 1, 2, 3 on the 12th fret to the 7th fret of that 3rd string. When now is going to be rain. And then that's strings 1 and 2 at the 12th fret. Raining outdoors. And back up to the 12th fret on that 3rd string. You're kind of drifting down. You're not really going anywhere. So it's just to slide down and back up. I'm going to be raining outdoors. And then our bass is going to be the 5th fret on that 4th string, sliding down to the 3rd fret on that 4th string, open 4th string to the 5th string 3rd fret, open 6th string 3rd fret, open 5th, back to the 1st string on the 5th fret. And he does that. So he's going to be doing that 5th string bass, 3rd string open, and then twice on the 1st string. then start all over again. And then you've got the verse, or it's not really the verse, but where he says, can't you hear the wind howling? And that's going to go. So it's the 15th and just kind of sliding up. And again, it's not really too almost important where you're sliding up to, because it's more for the effect than anything else. And I'm just reaching, I'm just letting the slide reach. You could take your hand off and go up. And do that way, but it's just as easy, I think, for me just to reach, because again, it's, in my opinion, not too important what you're sliding up to. Better come on, he's gonna finish it off. Well, in my kitchen, where now it's going to be raining outdoors. And the next verse after that is the one where he says, when a woman gets in trouble, everyone knows her down. Looking for some good friends, none can be found. So that's just strings 1 and 2 going 12, 11, 10. And then it's following the same. We'll pretend that's the last verse. And that's the way that he's going to end it. So that is Come On In My Kitchen. Let's go to the split screen and go through it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. the last fret D going down. It's the last fret D going down. It's the last fret D going down. Good Lord, don't go down the road. When the bell, don't you cry this time. Bell, don't you cry this time. Cry, Monica, you die about a dime. Cry, but that money won't mind. And the captain so mean on me. Captain so mean on me. Captain so mean on me. Good Lord, oh, Port Island Road. It's Camping B and C. Camping B and C. Camping B and C. Good Lord, I'm in Port Island Road. Where's that fat deal going down? Last fat deal going down. Last fat deal going down. Good Lord, oh, Port Island Road. And the thing gonna be ringing so soon. Thing gonna be ringing so soon. Thing gonna be ringing so soon. Good Lord, Last Island Road. All right, that was Last Fair Deal Gone Down. And like Come On In My Kitchen, we're just playing kind of what we're singing. And the intro, again, like Come On In My Kitchen, is up at the 12th fret and dealing with strings 1, 2, and 3. So we're going to start the first string, go first string, then strings 2 and 1 together, and then that third string. So that's the third string going from the 12th fret to the 3rd fret. And don't be afraid to get that second string involved as well. I'm kind of doing it a little bit more precise than it sounds, but just so we get the right notes that we're playing. But you can get that second string in the mix for that 3rd fret as well. And then we've got five, 4 open. Then we're going to slide up, which is interesting. So 5, 4 open, slide up from 2 to 4 on that 5th string, 5th string open, and then we do our walk down. And then slide up again. So that's a interesting little intro there. And in this song, the bass is really going to be happening on the 6th string. And you're going to get the 5th string in the mix. And this is pure just for rhythmic sense, not for the actual notes themselves. So just get comfortable doing that on the 6th string and hitting the 5th string as well. So after we get the intro, he starts off the beat and he's going to go, well, it's the last veggie going down. So he's going to hit the 12th fret with strings 1 and 2 for sure. Maybe that 3rd string might get in there as well because it's basically just a down stroke. So it's the last veggie going down. So it's a little bit tricky to do that. Well, it's the last veggie going down. So after that 1, 2, 3 for the it's the last, then we're going to our 2nd fret with strings 6 and 5 that we're going to be fretting, but then the 5th string's in the mix as well because we're keeping that steady rhythm. So it's the last fair deal gone down. It's the last fair deal going down. So if you're just able to keep that steady rhythm happening on that 6th and 5th string, then you're just singing what you're playing up at the 12th fret with strings 2, 3, and 1. Last fair deal going down, good Lord, Gulfport Island Road. And there, we're just doing like we did in the intro, but it's just in that quick procession. So 3, 2, 1, open. And it starts again. And sometimes he doesn't go to that 2nd fret for that rhythm. Sometimes he's just going to keep it straight with that open string. So nothing really changes until he gets to the verse about it's camp A, B, or C, or whatever he's saying there. It's kind of hard to decipher the lyrics of that. But he's going to change things completely from going from the slide part to this part here. And what I'm doing there is strings 1 and 2 at the 5th fret for string 1, 6th fret for string 2. And this is the chord shape that we're going to use kind of going forward. He does this in Stones in My Pathway. He uses this for Terraplane Blues, Milk Cow Calf Blues, Crossroad Blues. So it gets used quite a bit. And so this is kind of the introduction to that prior to those songs. And the bass is going to stay the same. So you can either do an upstroke with your first finger, or you can pluck. I do an upstroke, but then you can see with my left hand, with my ring finger, I'm helping to mute the strings so it's not getting too out of control. And that's when it's camp A, B, and C. Camp A, B, and C. When it's camp A, B, and C. Good Lord. So by the time he repeats the line, by the 3rd time, he's now letting the strings, he's letting it ring into each other. Where's the last fair deal gone down? And then he just ends it the same old way. And then he does a couple of the verses just going back, doing the same old thing that he was doing prior to that verse. And the only other verse that really changes things is the last verse, and he's going to do some harmonics, so he's going to get back into it where this verse is, where that bell gonna be ringing so soon. And the way we're doing those harmonics, if you just put your finger over the 12th fret and hit that first string, you're just lightly placing your finger on the string. It's kind of like you're doing with your slide. You're not pressing down. You're just lightly placing them over the strings, barely touching them. And then when you pluck the string, lift your finger off that string, and you'll get that harmonic. And he's going to do that on 1, 2, 3, on those 3 strings. So it's, well, babe, gonna ring so soon. They gonna be ringing so soon. He does it again. They gonna be ringing so soon. Good Lord. Gulfport Island Road. And they end. It's a 3, 2, 1, open, slide up, and land on that first string 5th fret. So those are the elements of Last Fair Deal Gone Down. Let's go to the split screen and go through it together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Where it's the last fed you gone down. It's the last fed you gone down. It's the last fed you gone down. Good Lord, gone Port Island Road. Don't you cry this time. Bell, don't you cry this time. Cry, Nico, you die about a dime. Cry, but that money won't mind. I love the way you do. Love the way you do. Love the way you do. Lord, Port Island Road. Captain so mean on me. Captain so mean on me. Captain so mean on me. Good Lord, Port Island Road. It's Camping B and C. Camping B and C. It's Camping B and C. Good Lord, on that Port Island Road. Let's fast till go down. Let's fast go down. Let's fast go down. Good Lord, Port Island Road. And the bell gonna ring so soon. Bell gonna be ringing so soon. Bell gonna keep ringing so soon. Good Lord, and go Port Island Road. I got stones in my pathway. My road seems dark at night. I got stones in my pathway. My road seems dark at night. I got a pain in my heart, it's taking my appetite. I got two birds to whistle, and I got a bird to moan. I got a bird that whistles, and I got a bird to sing. Got a woman that I'm loving, she don't mean a thing. Well, now you're taking my life, taking my loving too. Put a stone on my pathway, what do you want for me to do? I'm crying, please, please now let us be friends. Well, eat my boys, please don't block the road. Well, now I tell you, honey, Hooch and I gotta go. All right, that was Stones in My Passway, and this song, Terraplane Blues and Milk Cow Calf Blues, are all by and large the same song. They all have different intros, and I'm going to touch on that with Terraplane Blues intro and Milk Cow Calf Blues intro after we go through the full explanation here with Stones in My Passway. So up at the 12th fret is where we're going to start for the intro, and we're going to go to our 3rd fret. So we got 12th fret with strings 1 and 2, and go up. So it's up, up, and down. And the same kind of motion happening on the 3rd fret with strings 1 and 2. And what I'm doing with my right hand for that is I'm actually using my thumb and my finger. So you could do that. You could use your first and your thumb. Or you could pluck, or you could use just your thumb. But I like that motion more. So that's the intro. And we've got it. And what that is all you're doing with your left hand is going from 5th fret to 3rd fret with that first string. So what's happening really is going on with your right hand, and that is going to be brushing up and I'm mainly going in one direction. Every now and again I might do a downstroke with my finger. But it sounds best if you're doing just an upstroke brush. And you can get as wild with it as you want. That's a pretty tamed version of the brushing. And I'm not taking it up past the 4th string because with my thumb, so in some cases I'm doing almost like a pinch. So I'm covering all the strings. My thumb is taking care of the 5th string and a little bit of the 4th string, and my first finger is just brushing up on everything else. And that's that motion, and that's just going to be something that might take you a little while to develop. It's something that I've been doing for a long, long time, and I'm sure we'll have to continue to do it for a longer time to get exactly the way that Robert Johnson would have gone about doing it. And then he's going to start singing. So that's the intro. Well, I got stones in my pathway. So we're here up at the 5th fret with the 1st string, 6th fret with that 2nd string, and stones in my pathway. And again, our thumb is taking care of that 5th string. And our first finger is doing a brush. So on the right hand, that's going to look like this. Stones in my pathway. So you still got a good brush going on. And that is what he's going to sing over. So I got stones in my pathway. My road seems dark at night. And so he's going to do it 3 times. 1. And it sounds like to me sometimes he's going to his 3rd fret, 6th string, and doing something that we learned in walking blues, which is 6th string, 3rd fret, 3rd string open, 5th string open. So we got the 3rd time around. He's going to change his fingering. So he's going to go from 5th and 6th to 5th fret only for strings 1 and 2. back to this. So that's the first line of the verse. Stones in my pathway, the road seems dark at night. I got stones in my pathway. So now we're going up to the 5th fret, barring strings 4, 3, 2, and 1, stretching up to that 8th fret with that first string. Stones in my pathway, and my road seems dark at night. And then he's going to go back to that. Oh, I got a pain in my heart. And he's going to go to his 5th fret with that 4th string. Pain in my heart. Slide up. Taking my appetite. And it's going to start all over. And then he's going to get to this verse where he's going to go, we're taking my love, taking my life too. We're put stone in my pathway, what you want for me to do. So all we're doing there is going from frets 3 to 4 on that 5th string and to this chord shape. And with my finger, I'm doing a little bit of a drag. I'm just dragging my finger up. And then, please now, please let us be friends. Open the door, honey. Come on and let me in. The last verse is the same as the other ones. The difference there is that he's, instead of just going to the 5th fret, 4th string, he's going to hit his 3rd string as well. So it's strings 4 and 3 at the 5th fret. And then he's going to walk down, well, let me in. And that's a heavily muted sound there. So he's muting that 6th string and going 3, 2, 1, open, and then the walk down. And then we're sliding up to the 12th fret. So that's 3, 2, 1, open, 5th fret, 1st string, going up to the 12th fret on strings 2 and 3. Now, briefly, just looking at Terraplane Blues, the intro for that is pretty similar. He's going to start with the 1st string and go 1, and then strings 2 and 3. And that's the trickiest part for me, or in my mind, is going 3, 2, and then he kind of does a drag up, and then into it. And I feel so lonesome, don't you hear me when I'm on? And then the song is, everything is pretty much the same. He does do a few slide parts in Terraplane Blues, and one element of that is, that I'll show you, is when he goes to this part. Keep your motor running, generator won't spark, motor's in bad condition. When I'm crying, please, when I let us be friends. So what he's doing there is he's going from the 5th fret part. Please let us be friends, up to the 12th fret. And he's leading it in with that second string, and just that strings 1, 2, and 3. And then back down to what he was doing. So that's one variation for Terraplane Blues. Now, Milk Cow Calf Blues just has that very unique intro to it. Starting up at the 8th fret with that second string, down to the 3rd fret with that second string. And then we're hitting strings 2 and 1 together. Back up to the 8th fret with strings 2 and 1. And then it's down to 3 to 2, off. Slide back up from 2 to 3 on that 3rd string. And then our walk down into it. So that is Stones My Pathway, a little look at the intro and a variation of Terraplane Blues and the intro of Milk Cow Calf Blues. But let's go to the split screen, and we're only going to focus in on Stones in My Pathway. 1, 2, 3, 4. I got stones in my pathway, and my road seems dark at night. Got stones in my pathway, and my road seems dark at night. Well, then woman, taking my appetite. I got a bird to whistle, and I got a bird to sing. Got a bird to whistle, and I got a bird to sing. I got a woman that I'm loving, she don't mean a thing. Well, now you've taken my loving, taken my loving too. Put stones in my pathway, what do you want for me to do? I'm kind, please. Well, won't you let us be friends? Open the door, honey. Hey, let me in. Well, I got 3 legs to get home, boys. Please don't you block the road. Got 3 legs to walk home, boys. Well, don't you block the road. Well, I tell you, honey, now I'm hooked and I gotta go. down the crossroads, fell down on my knee. Said, oh, help me now, help Bobby, please. Well, I was down at the crossroads, and I tried to flag a ride. I was down the crossroads, and tried to flag a ride. Didn't nobody seem to know me, everybody passed me by. Well, you can run, tell my poor friend Willie Brown. You can run, tell my poor friend Willie Brown that I'm down the crossroads and I believe I'm sinking down. Well, I was down at the crossroads, and I looked east and west, down to the crossroads, and I looked east and west. Didn't nobody know me, oh, in my distress. All right, well, that was Crossroad Blues, and I'm going to do this version as well as the alternate take version, at least for the intro and the first verse. It was a little confusing as to which one to go with because the version that I just performed was the version that I've always known to be like the, not the alternate take from the collection of the recordings that I have. But then I've noticed that the alternate take ended up being the version that a lot of people knew, as that was presented on some releases as the take that was, the commercial release, if that's what you want to call it. So I went with the one that I had always known for the performance, and we'll explain and we'll treat that one as the explanation and split screen, but I also do want to touch on the intro and first verse of the alternate take. So we've got our intro up at the 12th fret, like we've been doing. It's going to be strings 1, 2, 3, 12th fret to 3rd fret. 5th string open and then walk down, which we've been doing pretty much this entire lesson. And that slide from 2 to 4, 4th string open, 6th string open. And then he's going to go up to the 12th fret, but he's going to be using his 6th string bass and 5th string as well, and he's going to really be hitting it and go, I went down to the crossroads, fell down on my knee. So our thumb is going to be keeping that steady rhythm going on the 6th and 5th strings. Again, we're muting with the palm of our hand, just lightly placing that on the strings and going down, and then we're going to be dealing with strings 1, 2, and 3 up at the 12th fret. So I'm doing just brushes up. And that run down here at the 5th fret. So after we get done going, we're down the crossroads, lay down on my knees. We've got this. So that's 5th, 3rd, 2nd, open to the 3rd fret, 3rd string. 5, 3, open, 2nd, 3rd. And then do a down to the crossroads, fell down on my knees. So that's just going up to the 5th fret, barring 4, 3, 2, and 1, adding that 8th fret on that 1st string like we've done with a number of songs already. Fell down on my knee, back up to that 12th fret. This again. Say, Lord, have mercy now. So that's kind of the same thing we did with Stones in My Pathway. 3rd fret, 1st string, open, 3rd string open, sliding up from 3 to 5 on that 4th string. Help, oh Bob, if you please. So now we're going to go 3, 2, 1 for help, oh Bob, if you please. And then so every verse ends with this 3, 5, 3, 3, 5, 5, 5. So after that, let's just start again. Was out down the crossroads, and I was trying to beg a ride. So there he switches things up. After the 4 chord, he's not going to just go right back up into the 12th fret. He's going to go into this chord position that we saw with Stones in My Pathway, which is 1st string, 5th fret, 2nd string, 6th fret. So after we get and then up to the 12th. Da 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 bum bum. And that's the same. Well, you can run. Tell my poor friend Willie Brown. Run, and everything else is pretty much going to follow suit. Tell my poor friend Willie Brown. We're down the crossroads now, and I believe I'm sinking down. So that's the kind of basics of what he's going to be doing through all the verses. Verse 2 does change things slightly, which is going to go, when he goes, well, I was down at the crossroads, trying to flag a ride. So we're going to go from the 12th fret to the 3rd fret with strings 1 and 2 to our 3rd string. Back up to the 12th. Back to our 3rd fret. So that's one of the variations that he does with the slide. Going to basically the end of the song, because we've kind of covered everything that he's really doing. Kind of does that typical ending that we've seen, which is 3, 2, 1, open. He's going to do 5, 4, open. Instead of sliding up like we've seen, he's just going to go 5, 4 to the 5th fret, 1st string. So that's that Crossroad Blues. Now there's an alternate take, and that intro is going to sound like this. So we've got I did it wrong that first time. We're going to go strings 2 to 1, back to 2 to 1 on that 12th fret. So that's that intro. Very nice. And he does a 6/5 bass, which is kind of interesting. So we've got 2, slide up, 6/5, and that bass, and then walk down. And then the verses, well, I went down to the crossroads. So string 2, 1, 2, 3, for just following the vocal line. Went down to the crossroads. And then his bass is going to go 2, 1, open. Went down to the crossroads. Fell down on my knee. Which, that's pretty tricky there. We've got, well, I went down to the crossroads, fell down on my knee. So 3, 1, 3, 2 to 3rd fret, open, and that 3rd fret with that 2nd and 1st string. That's 3, 2, 1, 2, 3. Went down the crossroads, fell down on my knee, up to 12th fret. Well, now we've got this chord shape here, which is 2nd string, 1st fret, 3rd string, 2nd fret, and he's going to add his 1st string on that 3rd fret as well. And the slide up. And the ends is like that. 2, 1, 2, 3. So that's a little look at a variation of Crossroad Blues alternate take, but let's go to the split screen and work through the first version of Crossroad Blues together. 1, 2, 3, 4. Well, I went down to the crossroads, fell down on my knee. I went down the crossroads, fell down on my knee. Lord, have mercy now. Help old Bob, if you please. I was down at the crossroads. Lord, I was trying to make a ride. Down the crossroads, and I was trying to figure out. nobody seemed to know me. Everybody passed me by. Well, you can run. Tell my poor friend Willie Brown. You can run, you can run. Tell my poor friend Willie Brown. Then I'm down at the crossroads, and I believe I'm sinking down. When I was down at the crossroads, and I looked east and west, went down to the crossroads, and I looked east and west. Didn't nobody seem to know me, hid in my distress. Well, when your man gets personal, want you to have your fun. When your man gets personal, want you to have your fun. Just come down to Fry's Point, mama, there's all night long. I got women down in Vicksburg, clean on into Tennessee. I got women down in Vicksburg, clean on into Tennessee. Fry's Point, mama, I'm so over me. I hate to stay no cuddle button, front teeth where they shine with gold. I hate to stay no cuddle button, front teeth where they crown with gold. Well, these on my body, mortgage on my soul. We're gonna bear house, mama, down by the riverside. All right, that was Traveling Riverside Blues. And the other song that he does that's very similar to this is If I Had Possession over Judgment Day. So we're going to go over that song next. And the intro to this song, depending on what CD collection you have, the one that I have has this kind of false intro type deal, which is what I did in the performance. And some of them just go straight into the, what I guess you would consider the real intro. But that false intro was at the 12th fret, second to the 3rd string, and then to the 3rd fret, 3 down to 2, and 3rd string open. So if you have that CD collection, you know what I'm talking about. The real intro is going to again be up at the 12th fret, but we're going to start off with our 3rd string and go And I'm doing all that with my thumb. So on the right hand, it's going to go. So that's kind of cool. And then we're going down to the 3rd fret for that same type of deal that we did for the false intro. Then we've got our walk down to the 2nd fret, 3, 2, open, and then we're going to go to the 1st string of that 5th fret. And then our bass, he's going to start leading it in like he did with Last Fair Deal Gone Down, where we started leading it on the 6th string, but he's going to start with the 5th string. And just start singing, when your man gets personal, want you to have your fun. So that's all at the 5th fret, just barring 5 down to 1, and it's very light. It's very faint in the recording. The man gets personal, want you to have your fun. And then we're going to go that 3 down to 2 and off, like we did for the intro. And then we've got the lick. And the basis of the lick is with our left hand, with our slide, we're just going to go from the 3rd fret of the 3rd string to the 5th fret of the 4th string. So it's... And that's all happening with the 3rd and the 5th and the 4th string. So the right hand is going to look like this, and this is just very scaled down to get you going. But he's going to add things to that. So that's just the bare bones of what you're going to be doing with the slide. So start there and get comfortable doing that. But then we're still doing this, but we're adding a stumble, kind of a stumble bass with the 6/5 bass. So it's going to go. And when we go to the split screen and really slow that down, that will be more apparent what you're doing. But again, if you just start off with that, you'll be able to add that stumble bass in with that and get to what it needs to be. So the first line, if your man gets personal, want you to have your fun. If your man gets personal, want you to have your fun. That's the same as we just did. Just come down to Fry's Point, mama. So now we're 5th fret, 5th string. Come down to Fry's Point, mama. Their house all night long. So 5, 3, 7, 3, open on that 5th string. Their house all night long. Back to the lick. When I'm going in Vicksburg, clean on into Tennessee. Now for the remainder of the song, he's going to do the first line of the verse up at the 12th fret on strings 2 and 3. And then go back down to that 3rd fret. So with my thumb, the right hand, I'm just using my thumb pick to go down to strings 2 and 3. But with my slide, so looking at the slide here, you can see that I'm coming off. I'm not leaving the slide on the strings. Otherwise you'd get that. So you got to pull it off. lick. Again, got a woman down in Vicksburg, clean on into Tennessee. 5-point mama hops all over me. So the majority of the verses are going to be that. The third verse where he goes, well, I hate to say no color, but front teeth where they crown with gold. He's going to switch his bass from the 5th string to the 6th string, and he's almost going to kind of go back to the last fair deal gone down rhythm for after the, well, I hate to say no color, but front teeth where they crown with gold. So it's 6th string and 5th string together, and we're going to go 12th fret on that 1st string to the 2nd fret of the 6th string to get that bass. Again, 1, 2, 3 at the 12th fret, and then just goes back to normal. Where'd I to stay no color, but front teeth where they crown with gold. I got a lien on my body, mortgage on my soul. And all the other verses are going to be the same as verse 2. So the ending, he's just going to go. Lien on my body, mortgage on my soul. We're going to do our walk down. So that's 3rd fret, 2nd fret, 1st fret, open, and then up to the 12th fret. So 3, 2, 1, open, slide from 2 to 4, 4th string open, so that slides on that 5th string, 5th fret, 1st string, to the 12th fret on strings 1 and 2. So that's Traveling Riverside Blues. Let's go to the split screen and go through together. 1, 2, 3, 4. When your man gets personal, I hate to stay no color, but now one teeth where they crown with gold. I'm going down to Rosedale, right up by my side. Yeah, baby, down by the riverside. Well, that's going to bring us to a close for DVD 2, and looking through many, many aspects of Robert Johnson's playing out of Spanish tuning. There's one other Spanish tuning song, If I Had Possession Over Judgment Day, and that is going to lead off DVD 3, and then go into Vastopol tuning and explore his songs out of that tuning. If you have any questions or comments based on any of the songs covered here in DVD 2, please feel free to contact me at guitarvideos.com, which is the website for Stefan Grossman's Guitar Workshop. If you're interested in more lessons similar to this style, you know, Robert Johnson's open tuning stuff is certainly more influenced by Delta blues, whereas his standard tuning songs are more of an urban sound rather than a country blues sound. If you're looking for more Delta blues and Bottleneck, I did lessons on Son House. I've done lessons on Charlie Patton and Book of White. And if you go to guitarvideos.com, just put in my name, you'll see all the DVDs that I've done, because I've done quite a few on Bottleneck players and playing styles. I think that we're going to end here with a footage of Johnny Shines playing Tell Me Mama. So enjoy watching Johnny Shines, and take care.
What in the world am I doing here? Well, I was born in Tennessee. And tell me what in the world am I doing here? One got to lick the chair. Well, wake up, sweet mama. Won't you tell me your midnight dream? Ooh, wake up, sweet mama. Won't you please tell me your midnight dream? Well, you must be dreaming bad, mama, 'cause your face look mighty mean. What in the world is wrong with you? Won't you tell me, Mom, what in the world is wrong with you? I don't seem to be able to please you, baby, no matter what in the world I do.
Every time I'm walking down the street, some pretty mama breaking down with me. Stop breaking down. Stop breaking down. With the stuff I gotta push brains on, baby, you lose your mind. Yeah, I can't walk the street, consolate my mind without someone. Stop breaking down, stop breaking down, stop breaking down. With the stuff I gotta push your brains up, baby, make you lose your mind.